Luke Boyton is the founder of the Sons of Obi-Wan Academy on the New South Wales Central Coast, and he's been teaching the choreography behind lightsaber duels to kids of all ages for the past 4 years. And like the Sydney Saber Club, he's seen a huge growth in interest in recent years. He joins us now with a few of his special lightsabers. Luke, tell us why you set up the academy.
Okay, so I started this about 4 years ago as a way to teach life skills to kids on the autism spectrum. I worked as a teacher for 6 years, loved the kids, loved the teaching. Found I wasn't able to teach the resilience and life skills they needed, so I decided I'm going to open my own school, and I thought I'd do it through Saber Combat.
So how does Saber Combat teach that, the life skills?
Absolutely. So one of the primary lessons we teach is that if you start something, you're going to be terrible at it. It takes 10,000 hours to master something. We call it embracing the suck, which means, you know, when you start, you're terrible at something. And I found kids on the spectrum give up quite easily if they hit a barrier. So that's the first life skill we teach. After that, you move on to building self-confidence, working in groups. We just don't work with special needs guys. Our current age range is 9 to 56. And we work with adults and kids and everyone, and we just found everyone needed the same life skills.
So give us a little bit of history about lightsaber combat.
Great. Okay, so this here is a combat saber. Okay, so these have been made since about 1999. They were originally like the ones they used on the film, which was a solid metal hilt with a carbon fibre blade. They didn't light up. 2005, it started in New York with New York Jedi. They did a choreography style, and since then it's slowly grown. The Golden Gate Knights started in 2011, but since then, especially since the release of Episode 9, it's exploded. There's two groups. You've got your choreography guys, us, there's guys in Hawaii, the Hawaii Saber Academy, we've got the Saber Legion and all those guys, and then you've got the combat side, which is actual fighting as well, which is Ludo Sport and the Saber Legion are the two biggest groups. Yeah.
And, I mean, how much, the lightsaber you just held up for us, I mean, how much money are we talking for?
They're expensive. So our ones start at $499 Australian and go up to about $600 for the gold-plated one there. But the reason you're paying so much is the blade's actually essentially bulletproof glass. It's polycarbonate. The hilts are made out of aircraft-grade structural aluminium. They need to be tough because, especially for us when we do a lot of tricking and fighting, they get dropped a lot. So you have to, a lot of the sort of official sabers look pretty, but they're not very usable. So you have to go for more of a combat saber.
Now, there's politics and everything. What are the different approaches to lightsaber duels around the world? And also, we know that the French Fencing Association has embraced this.
Yeah.
How has the Australian Fencing Association?
Okay, so we're pretty much the face of saber combat in Australia. We were the first guys to really hook into it in a big way. There's not one. We're working on a combat curriculum at the moment. As we've seen in the package, there are some guys in Sydney and that sort of thing. So what's really interesting is the French guys, they're literally, it's just fencing with sabers. Okay. So the beauty of saber combat is that there's a variety of different styles used in the movie. So, for example, Episode 4, Star Wars, was fencing. Episodes 5 and 6 was European longsword. Episodes 2 and 3 was kung fu. So what's really interesting is we're starting to see different groups popping up using different styles. So there's kendo. A lot of guys use kendo, fencing. We're actually using Balintawak, which is Filipino stick fighting. So the beauty of Star Wars is because there's so much variety in there, it allows everyone to attack their part of what they want to do with it and bring their own style to it.
Quickly before I let you go, what is the reaction of people when you tell them what you do?
Laughing, generally. But what's funny, as I said, it's come into the foreground. When I started this 4 years ago, no one took us seriously. But what's happening now is it's starting to get momentum and people are talking about it now. And it's a great time to be involved with it. It's growing and becoming a worldwide phenomenon.
Luke Boyton from the Obi-Wan Academy on the New South Wales Central Coast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.